Hello, my name is Muhammad Sharifuddin Mishahri and my metric number is 204304.
Hello, my name is Farhan Abarkan and my matrix number is 204801. Today we'll be talking about the challenges of studying abroad. So there are two main points of studying abroad and the challenges that we'll be facing. The first point is the homesickness and the second point is communicating with the locals. So let us begin. Are you planning to study abroad? One fine day you receive an email announcing one of the best messages of your life. Congratulations, your application to your designated program has been accepted. Finally, your laborious efforts have paid off. Amidst the joy and excitement, you feel a sudden chill traveling down your spine. You realize you're about to get uprooted from your country and planted at a new destination. Don't get anxious about it. Before you embark on one of the most important journeys of your life, a list of challenges could be a barrier. And as an international student, I faced these barriers myself. Going to our first main point, feeling homesick. According to Rick Warren, an associate professor in Department of Psychiatry at the University of Michigan, homesick has been described as a grief reaction, similar to having lost a loved one. But what the person is grieving is the loss of a familiar place. There is a yearning and longing for the familiar place. You will feel homesick in your early days. Your mother's home cooked foods, father's words of wisdom, mischiefs with your siblings, and of course, hanging out with your friends at your favorite places. You'll miss all of them. Before you have made any connections, you might have a feeling of loneliness arriving to your new destination. Staying in your hotel room not knowing what to do or where to go is more common than thought of. Especially if you're traveling alone and arriving to your university, it might seem that everybody is in groups and talking in different languages, and you might feel like an outsider. There are a number of ways to quiet down the loud voices in your head, reminding you just how far away from home you actually are. You can get involved in new interests or clubs or adventures in your study abroad destination. You can call up friends and family or advisors for a bit of advice and an ear to listen to. You can find a taste of home by hitting up the local Starbucks and treating yourself. You can start practicing yoga, meditation, journaling, or other self-awareness activities. Most importantly, be sure to avoid spending hours on perusing Facebook or your other favorite social media websites. These are counterproductive and actually feed your feeling of homesickness rather than eradicating them. So this is my presentation. I'll let my friend Sharif continue the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Farhan. That was a good explanation on the first challenge, being homesick. For your information, I attend college in the United States in 2014 to 2019. I'm here sharing a little bit of my experience. Now, I would like to talk about the second challenge. If you are going to study abroad, be noted that it will be a challenge to communicate with the locals. First, let's understand what communication barriers is. An easier way to understand communication barriers is to imagine obstacles being in the middle of two parties that are communicating with each other. And these obstacles are preventing the efficient flow of the communication. Communication in this context is the process of transferring information through a medium, and that medium can be verbal interactions, written notes, or even through signs like body language. Why did I say it is hard to communicate with the locals? Well, the first reason is language barrier. When you are living in a country that uses a different language than your mother tongue, being familiar with the local language and dialect is essential if you want to have a natural and fun conversation. Not the forced kind of conversation. Like us, people in the other countries have their own slang, jargons, abbreviation, and regional dialect. Yes, if you are if you are fluent in that specific country's language, you will be able to convey any information. But to feel like home and among friends, you got to step aside from the textbook. According to a research conducted by the Grattan Institute, the proportion of postgraduate engineering subjects filled by the international students in Australia increased gradually every year from 2010 at 5.2% to 8.5% in 2016. These may be the results of the country's decision to lower their English requirement in accepting international students. But just imagine, if you can talk and ask comfortably overseas like you do in your home country, wouldn't your educational experience be much more comfortable and engaging as well? Putting that aside, another reason I personally find communicating with locals is difficult is our preferences in choosing our inner circle. Remember when we first entered high school or when we just started our college? We tend to look for people that we already know, such as friends from our previous schools or our neighbors. We prefer to be in our clique. Well, surprise, surprise, the locals do too. Even most of the international students in any university prefer to be with other students from their same home country. As a normal human being, we fear changes and most of us don't want to wander too far from our comfort zone. Gustavo Rossetti, a speaker who helps build a culture of change, stated that we are hardwired to resist uncertainty. Our brain prefers a predictable, negative outcome over an uncertain one. But he also mentioned that we have the power to change our mindset, or we risk our growth in the name of certainty. So be brave and approach the locals like you mean it, because if you don't, they will surely not. As a conclusion, as Farhan and I have elaborated earlier, two of the major challenges are homesickness and communicating with locals. To overcome these challenges, you got to have a strong heart and ample preparations before you get on that plane and start your journey. Just remember to enjoy your study overseas because it will be one extraordinary experience that will help you to see the world in a bigger perspective. In the words of a French novelist, Gustave Flaubert, travel makes one modest. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. Well, that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.